Hello and welcome back to From the Cop to the
Couch.
We are here today with
Chef Dave.
and he's going to tell us about how he went from dreaming of being a Liverpool fan and being a Liverpool fan to cooking for his heroes. And how are you feeling today?
I'm pretty good. It's a warm day. It's a warm studio. But I'm feeling really good. Really good. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thanks for coming. So we're going to start off quite broad. Tell us a bit about yourself. Just
Oh God, where do we begin? It's been a long life. In terms of my Liverpool association, I grew up in Liverpool. And got taken to football matches by my dad on my birthday, probably from the age of, I want to say, about 8 or 9. I remember supporting Liverpool my whole life, right the way through primary school. Yes. I've obviously the long history of going to college, university, becoming a chef along the way. My Liverpool journey kind of grew and grew. Ultimately, I ended up at one of the best hotels in Liverpool, Hope Street Hotel, where I was the executive chef there. For those that don't know, Liverpool would stay there every home game. For many years they did that until recently. They've moved to a different hotel now, but my job while I was there, part of it was to look after every LFC stay. So like you said, I ended up coming from watching them play to actually speaking to them face to face, cooking for them, and actually went on to become private chef for a couple of them as well outside of that environment. And where am I up to now? I used to go to a lot of matches. I used to be given tickets by them on occasion, which was fantastic. If there's any of you listening out there, please send them to me again. It's been a long time since I've done hospitality. More recently, I've kind of left the chefing profession, and I'm now doing recruitment for hospitality staff across the UK, but still watching the mighty Reds. A little bit less this season maybe than last, but still there. So that's it in a very, very quick nutshell.
So, just a question: why Liverpool?
There was no other choice. I was born in Liverpool. I was raised a Liverpool supporter. My dad isn't the biggest football fan, but he was Liverpool. It didn't seem to be a choice at the time. I didn't even know any Evertonians, to be honest. I didn't grow up with any Evertonians. There's always this this myth that there's more Evertonians in Liverpool.
It's just not true, though.
It just isn't.
One of the biggest clubs in the world.
For every 10, there must be one Evertonian. I remember that growing up. It was like a rarity if you saw an Evertonian on Own Clothes Day. I was like, whoa, what's that? Do you know what I mean? What is a Danker or an NEC? I didn't even know. Anyways, so it was always Liverpool for me.
Who were some key players in your life that almost like shaped your Liverpool fandom and like made you love Liverpool even more, and why?
I was kind of watching in the era of Ian Rush was coming to the end of his career, and Robbie Fowler was coming through. I mean, absolute legend, local lad. Just used to score for fun. He was my favourite for many years. And then obviously the emergence of Stevie G coming through, and Michael Owen, and these kind of players again, local-ish for Owen. You know what I mean? I always loved the local lads coming through. So certainly Fowler, and then obviously Steven Gerrard was massive. It was quite daunting when you bump into him at 6 a.m. in a lift in the hotel.
That's crazy. The
door opens and Stevie G walks in on Derby Day, and you're just like, whoa. He's a big lad as well.
So, would you take Liverpool in the 90s, or would you take them now?
I mean, right now,
should we say that
this season?
This season and trophy winning, I'd say, like last season as well. Let's just group into one.
I watched Liverpool when they weren't great, you know what I mean, and it was a domination of United at the time. United were winning everything. They were winning the Premier League year in, year out. Arsenal were good, Chelsea were good, Liverpool were, they were good to watch.
The underdogs almost.
We were always the underdogs, and it was cool. And then these last kind of 10 years, I'd say, certainly with Mr. Klopp coming in, he was an absolute legend. That's been amazing to see, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, every trophy we've pretty much seen in the last 10 years. It's been great. So, yeah, I mean, you've got to say that modern era Liverpool has been nicer to watch than the 90s, to be fair, you know.
Yeah. Would you say the style of football has got better, or do you think the oppositions have got a bit weaker, or do you think it's a bit of both? Like, the way that we played football in the 90s, early 2000s is better than we are playing now, or do you think it's just the way that the Premier League has evolved?
It seems to go through ebbs and flows. So, I mean, we've seen the emergence this season alone of kind of old school tactics, long ball, low block, long throws, and those really skillful players not having any time at all to work the magic on the pitch. Back in the 90s, you'd have some really skillful players. Everyone else just had to be workhorses. You know, they were fast, they were quick. And we still see that now. You have to be fast and quick in this league, you know, and I think this season alone has showed us that you can't do it with skillful players.
Absolutely.
You have to have workhorses, battle, you know, tenacity. You've got to be scrappers on the pitch as well, which is almost going back to the 90s, you know, and before that, the 80s. And so, yeah, really interesting. I think the league changes year on year. We've seen the emergence of Guardiola's style of play.
It changed the league completely.
Changed the way people play football. And now we're starting to see a different emergence of the say the lesser teams. That's a bit unfair to them, but you know, they don't have the really expensive players. They don't have all the skill. They work hard as a team, and they battle and they fight, and they've got fast players that can hit you on the break. So
in the past 2, 3, 4 seasons, there's always been the club that everyone expects to be either mid-table or even relegation. We saw it with Sunderland this year, the starting of this year. They really pushed to top 4. Like they were in contention for the Champions League spot at Christmas.
Yeah.
Last year we had Forest, and a couple of the clubs have been. Brentford is another example who completely changed. Obviously, you have Leicester going back like a decade ago, but there's been an emerge of you're not too sure what the Premier League table is going to be. So when you're predicting it at the start of the season, you can't be sure because there's always the few. It's Tottenham.
The anomalies, no one would have seen Tottenham down there. No one would have seen Liverpool's dropping form this season either.
I mean, I'm loving Tottenham's downfall, to be fair. So
there's a few people that are really enjoying it, and I just can't take any enjoyment from it because of where we are at the moment.
If we were doing good,
really sad. But it's interesting. There is always it's the underdog we call them, but really it's just a team that's well disciplined, well organised, and people aren't expecting it. And they'll get a run of results until people start working out how they play. It's been a mad season all round, hasn't it? It's been very strange,
crazy,
very strange season.
What is your best Liverpool memory ever?
Oh, that's I've had a few, which is really nice. You know, recently I've got a little boy, and he's seen so many trophy parades when I seen one or two when I was growing up. Do you know what I mean? But he's seen them all. He's seen every trophy come in his lifetime. He's only 11. I feel sorry for the Evertonians who are 35 now, 36, seeing nothing. So it's obviously nice taking my son to parades and things. But it's just some of the matches where the Barcelona game, where even the Dortmund game, which was that was incredible. Some of those massive European nights where the result came in, and you guys are a bit young, but I just went out on the beers after that. Basically, we fled into the streets, you know what I mean? Literally after watching it. Weren't lucky enough to get tickets, but went out and stayed out basically because of that result, because it was so
absolutely
huge.
Magical.
It was we've not seen it before. Prior to that was probably the week where this is going back a long time now, but we beat Real Madrid twice and United in 1 week, and it was unreal. It was the best week of football ever. Beat Real Madrid home and away, beat United in the same week. Insane. It was incredible. But I've been lucky. We've had many. We've seen Champions Leagues, we've seen Premier Leagues, we've seen League Cups, we've seen FA Cup, we've seen it all.
Yeah, honestly, my favourite, it has to be Barcelona 4-0.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was magical, wasn't it?
Honestly,
it was like a fairy tale. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it was everything just slightly everything fell into favour of Liverpool, and It was insane. Never doubt Liverpool in a Champions League Anfield night. That's all I'm going to
They
say.
had half the team missing as well, if you remember rightly. Do you know what I mean? There was no Salah, there was half
Bobby,
the players
Firmino,
out. Yeah,
everyone's gone.
they just weren't there. We weren't expected to do anything, and that was the magic, the absolute magic of European football.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so if you could pick 5 players, who are some of the best you've ever watched?
If you're picking a 5-a-side team, we're going to ask
it a
every
5-a-side
guest this
team?
year.
Okay.
Yeah. So goalkeeper, centre back. You can either do 2 centre mids or 2 strikers. Either one.
Oh, this is a hard question. All right, first and foremost, Stevie G's going in the centre midfield. He just has to. He's absolutely
Magical
unreal. And for what Salah's done, in his 9 years here, Salah makes the team as well. We'll just play him as one of the front 2.
Yeah.
Let's say we've only got 5, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's been so many amazing strikers. Your Fowlers, your Torreses,
Absolutely.
but I think I'd have to put Luis Suarez in there from a player that I've watched.
If he stayed, I
Unreal
think
player.
he could have changed the way anyone plays football. I genuinely think if he stayed.
He left Barcelona and just went to a whole new level. You know what I mean? So, Luis Suarez and Salah will go up top for me. He's a relatively modern, but this is what I've seen. Steven Gerrard in midfield, interesting. Okay, Van Dijk for me has been phenomenal. A little drop off this season, but phenomenal. I could also Alan Hansen, but I was very young watching him. Absolute. Goalkeeper, interesting. So who have we got at the back then? So we've gone Van Dijk at the back. Yeah. We need a goalkeeper, obviously. I think Alisson is probably the best I've seen.
There's been Alisson, Dudek. There's been
Vesterveld and
Pepe Reina.
I
really liked Kelleher though.
Kelleher, fantastic.
I don't think he did a better job than Alisson.
Didn't do enough, you know what I mean? Well, didn't really break through. So we'll go with Alisson because he's been so constant for years and he's won everything. He's won it all. Again, this is modern. So what have we got now? We've got 4. Is that 4? Is that 5?
I think we've done it.
We've got 2 up front: Gerrard, Van Dijk, and the goalkeeper. That's it. So
I would argue maybe putting someone like a Bobby Firmino or a Sadio Mane. I don't know who it would replace, but I think you have this rare take that
I have this rare take that I think Sadio Mane was a well better player than Salah.
Better. I think he could push it.
San Mane used to frustrate me as well watching him, but so did but we were blessed. We had all 3 of them playing at once. Salah, I just think, has done more.
Partially to the time that he's had, but I think in the time where they were all together,
Mane was phenomenal. He was really good. But I just think for what he's achieved and what he's done, Salah just has to be in there. So my team is not very balanced. It's just all about getting goals, which Salah and Suarez will do.
Absolutely.
Gerrard just has to do everything in the middle, which is what he used to do anyway.
Got 3 natural goals,
everything at the back, and then we've got Alisson who can pretty good.
So this is where we get into more about you, more about your career, and more about you. So how did you get to the point where you were cooking for Liverpool players? Take us from the beginning of you becoming a chef into how you became cooking for your heroes.
This is a long journey.
Take us through it.
We'll try and do this as quick as we can. Right, so went to my local pub at the age of 15 and got a weekend job, basically washing the dishes, been doing a bit of prep, and then pretty much fell in love with kitchens at that point. It was crazy. A crazy environment for a 15-year-old to go into. I mean, it shouldn't really be allowed, I don't think. But anyway, had to grow up really fast. But did fall in love with the kitchen. I didn't want to be a chef particularly. I went off to study graphics and illustration.
Really good drawer, aren't you?
I certainly used to be. Went off to do that. Did A levels, college, university. The whole time I was working in kitchens at the weekend just to keep me some money coming in, and I enjoyed doing it. So finished university. Realised there was no jobs in the country for illustrators. So I just thought, well, I'll just go straight back into kitchens. I can earn money. I can get I can earn a good wage straight away, and that's what I did really. Then I got all my qualifications on the job once I decided that was what I was going to pursue for a while. I worked in some of the best restaurants across northwest of England, really mainly Liverpool, Ventured out to Manchester for a while. But yes, where I was at, Hope Street Hotel. So I did quite a few restaurants and then got to Hope Street Hotel, which is the first time I'd ran a hotel myself as the exec chef, and I looked after everything. It was weddings, it was breakfasts, it was buffets, it was the restaurant, it was afternoon teas, it was night food service, late food. It was a lot. I was doing crazy. I was there like 90 hours a week at least, had really high levels and standards there, so it had to be good. And that's when Liverpool were staying there. So I did 2 years of cooking under Brendan Rodgers' team, and then 2 years under Jurgen Klopp's, which was a crazy transition. It was fantastic. So and it was a nice experience. Like I said, you'd see the players, you'd speak to the players, you'd be cooking live for them, you'd be making their omelettes in the morning, you'd be asking them what they wanted to eat and things. So it was mad, to be fair, because you go from being a supporter just to standing there looking at them and talking to them. It was nice, really pleasant, and on occasion they would have spare tickets and say, do you want to go to the game? So I'd be like, run downstairs to the sous chef, right, I need to go out for a few hours, you look after the kitchen, I'll be back. I used to get up there as quick as I could, go and watch the match, come back, get back into service and do the evening service, and then get ready to go again the next day, which was phenomenal. And then from there ended up cooking for a few players in their own houses later on, down the years, for special occasions and birthdays and anniversaries and things like that, and Valentine's Days I've done for a couple of couples, which was really interesting. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. So that's the obviously there's a lot of years that I've skipped there very quickly. I also after leaving that hotel, I ended up going out to China and studying out in China, and having a crazy career following on from that, going on TV, doing Great British Menu and all kinds of TV shows. Released a book a few years ago as well.
Do you want to plug the book?
I can plug the book. It's called Cherry Blossom by Chef Dave Critchley, and it's my first cookbook, and it tells the story about travelling out to China, learning a different culture, learning how to cook Chinese food, authentic Chinese food, and my journey coming back, opening up the restaurant Luban, which won Best Restaurant in England in 2022. And all the recipes that I kind of learned, some of the recipes that I learned along the way. It's a very nice book, and do you have
a link to it that we can put in the description?
Find me on Instagram, and find Chef Dave J on Instagram, drop us a DM, and I'll arrange to have you a book signed and sent out to your house.
Get it before it gets
done.
big.
Get it done.
We'll put it in the description, so just pop down to the description and you'll find it.
Pop it down there, and
So, little promo there.
Gotta plug it.
Yeah, gotta plug it.
Gotta plug it.
So, cooking for these players, was it like stressful? Was it, did you have like the right things in? Was it basically just a run round?
It's very strict. It was very strict. I would suggest that under Brendan Rodgers it was less strict. As soon as Klopp came in, he completely revolutionised everything. Brought in a head of nutrition from the German national team, a lady called Mona, who was amazing, and I seen that the difference was unreal. It was night and day. He went from like pasta, chicken breast, parmesan sauce, that was it, to this whole new level, which like trebled my workload. So thank you, Mona. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Klopp. And it became super stressful because I had to come in earlier. There was a lot more to do, but it made sense. So there was a lot of colours going on, a lot of different ingredients. Mona asked the players to like choose their own and pick their own things, so they got involved with the food, they got interested in the food, as well as not just forcing eggs down and forcing pasta down, which has always been the way. This was more about, you're eating this because, and this is why you're eating this, and this is good for you because, and everything was tailored for every individual player rather than everyone just eating the same thing.
Do you think you saw a difference on the pitch from Brendan to Klopp, obviously we know
because
that.
of the food, or
Do you think the food had an impact on the way that they played?
It was just far more intelligent, in terms of the food that was out there. It was cleverer. It was more bespoke as well for players who needed more of this in their diet, and that player needs more of this. It's impossible just to give everyone the same and expect them all, to get everything from them. Everyone's different. So yeah, I'd suggest. We did. Under Rodgers, we didn't really win much. Under Klopp won it all. So there you go. Put it all down to the food. Thank you very much, guys. I'll take the credit for that.
were there any players? Are you allowed to name names of?
I don't think so. No, I can. Of course, I can. Yeah. I never signed anything. So yeah.
Well, were there any players who had insane food unique food requests or
Well, there was one player that would only eat ice cream.
Really? Does that
a certain Italian player that wouldn't eat anything other than ice cream.
Before and after matches?
Before the matches, yeah. So, if you can guess, he was quite a crazy character, as you can imagine.
No idea. Really?
Yeah. We'll just call him Mario B. He would only eat ice cream.
Really?
I've had a couple of podcasts when people have asked me about stuff this before. I used to back in the Gerrard, Suarez era, Stevie G had to eat first, and everyone else followed in rank behind him. So it was quite interesting to watch, the pecking order, as it were.
Yeah.
Stevie G would come up first, and Suarez would be number 2, which was quite interesting. Suarez would come up, would get his bowl of soup, and then take all of the croutons, not just a few. It's literally pick the whole bowl up and walk off with them, and everyone else would be like, "Where's the bloody croutons?"
I would imagine Suarez of a unique palate.
Yeah,
I would feel like he had a
sharpened teeth and a palate. Yeah, just human flesh for Suarez. But generally the rest of them just they did what they were meant to eat. They did what they were told to eat. So all good. But I'll always remember Mario just would only eat ice cream, which was
that's crazy.
Probably why he was so crap for us.
When he's not setting off fireworks, he's eating ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say is more stressful? Would you say it's managing a kitchen or a football team at the same level?
Tough one. I'd suggest probably. I know how hard it is managing a kitchen, but ultimately, like I keep telling people, sometimes it's just someone's dinner. You know what I mean? But managing a football team, there's millions of people. You only have to look on social media now.
Yeah.
If I've got someone's dinner wrong, I'll probably hear about it for a few days. Yeah. But if you get it wrong on the pitch, there's millions of people gunning for you. You know what I mean? You're going to lose your job. It's that simple. Yeah. So I'd suggest the management of a football team, certainly at Premier League, is ridiculously high. And although I felt the pressure then, it can't be anything that Mr. Slot's under now, for example. That must be tough.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like you having that much responsibility could change the way that a team plays on the pitch? Did that ever get to your head and get a bit stressful to you? Or?
No, there was one season where there was one season under Brendan Rodgers. We nearly won the league that year. We'd gone unbeaten at home at Anfield for so long. Really? And obviously people become superstitious, Ian, why is it, what's happening? We put it down to it was our cooking, obviously. So it was just everything's got to be perfect, and it does. You can feel the tension, from their staff as well. Everything has to be spot on. There can't be any issues or problems before matches. As that season went on and on and on, you could feel the tension rising because we were close to winning the league, And it was obviously it would have been a huge thing because we hadn't done it for so long.
Yeah.
It was palpable towards the end, and then the last few matches it kind of all fell apart, and that was tough. But it wasn't. I don't know. I don't think I felt that pressure, but you obviously wanted to make sure that you did your bit right. You were part of the success of the team. That's what you thought, So, but I don't know. I don't think it ever crept into my mind that if I got it wrong on the day, we'd lose the match. I'd like to not think so anyway, but.
Do you want me to say the next one here?
Yeah, go on.
Were there any players in particular who stood out to you, whether it be they were very kind, anyone that you weren't expecting or you were expecting, or do you know what I mean? They were just overly beyond kindness towards it?
Yeah, I'll always remember it, to be honest. So, James Milner, Adam Lallana and Henderson were like a little group, you know, they sat together and they, you know, and every one of them were really nice. They were really nice, they were really pleasant. They always asked about us, you know, and how's your family, and, you know, things like that, which you wouldn't really expect. Like that, everyone else was in their own bubble. You know, a lot of them just didn't give a crap. They were there. Yeah. But out of all of them, Jurgen Klopp, by far, really? You'd be the first one down in the morning for breakfast, and the first thing you do was come round and say hello to all the staff. We'd been up at 5 a.m. We were in there making the breakfasts, making sure breakfast was ready for 6:30, 7 o'clock, you know, around that time. He'd come down every morning and make sure the first thing he did was come and say hello to all the staff and thank them for being here. So that was big, you know what I mean? So yeah, other managers hadn't done that, and yeah, but those players particularly were just very polite and normal, and you know, just felt like great people. And Jurgen Klopp was just a special person, I think. So yeah, it made you feel special and thanked you for being there, which you don't often get.
Little things that,
not
like,
in hospitality, you know. You don't walk into a restaurant and thank the people for being there, or you know, for cooking your dinner. It's very rare that you'll ever say something like "thank you so much for being here for 14 hours a day, sweating your balls off to make sure that my birthday's gone white." You know what I mean? Yeah.
Was there anyone like of the opposite though?
I don't think.
No, the others, there wasn't anything. They weren't particularly nasty or anything like that, or horrible. But they wouldn't even know you were there, you know. And that went for a lot of them. But that's because they were probably getting themselves in the zone, or you know, it's just, and they don't have that about them. They didn't have that Klopp special factor. They're just a footballer, you know, and they don't care about anything else. I'm going to eat my dinner and I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to have my rest, and then I'm going to get up and go for my walk, and then I'm going to get on the bus and then I'm going to go and play football. That's so. I'd never take that personally or anything. That's just how they were. So
go into.
So no one nasty. I never encountered that. So yeah.
How much of an impact did cooking for Liverpool players have an impact on your further career, and do you think it raised the bar of where you went next?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of my career, no, probably not so much. It didn't impact massively, but it was always good to have. Always good to have on the. Always good to have it on the CV, and then obviously it did help me later on doing the private dinings. You know, going to these players' houses, I built a relationship with them. You know, that's helpful. Yeah. But in terms of career-wise, probably not. But it's still nice to say. When you go into an interview, for example, I've cooked for Liverpool for 4 years. You know, I know what needs to be done, high-end clients, etc., etc. Yeah, so probably yes and no is probably the answer to that one. Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
So, how many players did you personally cook for again?
Oh, I can't cook and tell. I three different players. I'll probably keep them anonymous for now, but they're great people, and and then hopefully I'll be cooking for them again. So
if you're watching,
yeah.
I haven't got any more questions.
Yeah, I think that's good. You got anything?
The questions to ask myself, or no, good. I think we've covered everything there. I thought you were going to ask me about slot go or slot stay, or you know what I mean? That's a big one at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've always through the season been like, you know, we should give him to the end of the season, but I'm at the point now where I can't actually see us getting any better. I can't see the change. I can't see where it turns it around. Every week we keep saying, if you lose this game, you know what's going to happen, and we lose the game. So it's like, you know,
slot out the team.
I think that Man City defeat was really damaging. You can't get beaten 4-0.
That's twice now we've lost in a big scoreline.
You take 1 or 2-0 loss, you know, but a 4-0 loss, the fans leaving on 50, 60 minutes.
So I was like,
it just doesn't. None of it feels right. So my thought now is, if you're already thinking of bringing someone else in the summer and they're available now, it's get them in now and let them have this little transition period. I'm sorry, Mr. Slot, you won us the league last year. We'll be forever grateful, thank you. But this year has not gone well. You know what I mean? And we can't afford to miss Champions League. You know, we've crashed out of every competition pretty quick. You know, we're playing PSG on Wednesday, which is going to be terrifying. You know what I mean?
I think if we. I like to think that Slot's put all his effort into the Champions League, and like that's why he's like gone a bit below par and everything else, but I can't see it. But to be fair, that last Champions League night, we looked promising. It looked like old Liverpool again.
Yeah.
If we can beat PSG and maybe slot in for maybe Luis Enrique or Xavi Alonso, I think we have a chance. I know it's a crazy thing to say given the season that we've had, but I think we have a chance of getting far.
Of which? Of getting where?
I think getting to the final.
Okay. If he beats PSG, then I think they'll keep him in, you know. I don't see the point of changing it at that point.
Yeah.
It's like all your eggs are in one basket now. You have to go and win the Champions League.
Yeah.
Which is still doable.
I think he could do it.
It's just the way they're playing at the moment. I can't see it at all. PSG are a well-oiled machine, probably the best in Europe at the moment, you know, or the world. Yeah. And they're coming up against us, we've stuttered. We are not good, you know. We're not playing well.
Yeah.
There's
after
no
last
one
game
really
as well.
performing on a high level at the moment. So, yeah, so we'll see. I think, I can't see anything other than PSG putting us out. I'd like to see us put up a fight, though, you know. Who knows? You know, who knows? Football's a strange game.
Yeah. Who would you take? Luis Enrique, Xavi Alonso,
it's
Klopp?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Luis Enrique probably over Alonso in terms of what he's done, what he's achieved, what he knows, you know, where he's been. Alonso is the kind of fairy tale. He's ex-Liverpool player, etc., etc. He was well sought after, but who knows if that's going to work? His style of football, is that going to work at Liverpool? You know,
yeah, it worked for teams like Bayer Leverkusen, and I think when he went to Real Madrid and he got sacked in his first second season, I don't think he deserved to be sacked.
I think underperforming particularly.
Just Barca was overperforming.
Yeah, but Barca was smashing it, and they won't give him time over there. They won't give anyone time. So I'd like to see him give it a go. You know, I think something needs to change. He's got a connection with a couple of the players here already. You know, Yvette, Frimpong. You know, he knows them. He knows the club. He knows the supporters. You know, I think everyone will get behind him massively. So it's there. But I just think you need a massive personality to be a Liverpool manager.
Do you think there's a chance Klopp coming back? I know there's been some speculation about it, but personally I don't see it.
I think that chapter's done for him now.
I don't. If he did join, I don't think I'd be 100% happy with it, because I feel like he made that big of a deal like leaving. I feel like it's kind of just ruins the end of the
legacy
chapter.
and everything else. So the last few years weren't great under Klopp, you know what I mean? But we still absolutely adored him because he'd won everything for us.
It was still Klopp.
Yeah, and it's Klopp. So I don't know if he came back. I think it'd be more of a sporting director or something like this. You could see him come back in that kind of role. Maybe there's an emergency stopgap where he comes in and does 6 months. Who knows? But I think it's I'd probably say and here's my controversial take here. Here's a controversial one for you. Diego Simeone as a Liverpool manager would have Anfield as the horriblest place to come to, you know what I mean? First and foremost, he would have the crowd riled up and behind him the entire time, you know what I mean? He's a bit of a pantomime villain, but he'll get the very best out of your players. It wouldn't be a bad shout.
No, to be fair, I think he's going under the radar.
He's a winner. He's a big character, which I think you have to be a Liverpool manager. I just don't think Slot's quite big enough for the club. So there's my controversial one.
I haven't seen that shout
That's
as
my
much.
Controversial one. He's the highest paid manager in the world, though. So so we probably could be getting him. But I just think it's a controversial one. He's one to think about.
I can see it.
He'd have Anfield absolutely rocking and disgusting as an away team to come and play at Anfield again. Anfield would be vile. You know what I mean? The crowd would be just fired up for it, and he knows how to win matches.
And what's going on with Gakpo? Can we have that conversation now?
I just think, individually, I think if he could point at 5-6 players this season that are just massively underperforming, and he's one of them, you know.
Why does he keep playing him I think there's something dodgy going on there. I don't know if you're watching this slot, but you need to speak up. I think some sort of affairs going on.
Dodgy. It's just the fact that he's not brought a replacement in for Diaz, and he's got a 17-year-old on the bench, Rio.
Chiesa, come on.
But Chiesa's not performing when he's coming on and when he is playing.
We saw the sparks at the start of the season.
We don't really have anyone else. That's the problem. We've left ourselves threadbare this season, and the injuries have just absolutely battered us. So not replacing Diaz was massive.
Too many attackers left last season, and I just think there was a gap after Darwin, after obviously Diogo, after Diaz, after so many of these players obviously going back, Mane, Bobby Firmino. We don't have the same attacking threat as we did before, and obviously we can't put it all on Salah because he's aging. We have to expect that, and if we put all the blame on the 3 attackers that are brand new to the club pretty much, Ekitike absolutely smashing it. He's one of the best strikers in Europe, I would say. I genuinely think that this season he has been one of the best strikers in the world.
He's had to take on the whole everything, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Salah's not firing, Gakpo's not firing. It's just Ekitike at the moment on his own up there, and his numbers aren't amazing, you know, but they probably could be if he was part of a more fluid attack. To be fair, he's a good player, but he's still only young, and there's a lot expected of him. If he hadn't hit the ground running, where would we be? You know what I mean, really,
Absolutely.
we'd be in a mess. Isak to come back, hopefully will come back strong and start scoring goals again, but it's just a mess at the moment. It's hard to put a finger on exactly what's going wrong, but it's not right. It's just not right all over the pitch.
Liverpool.
All over the pitch. It's not Liverpool, no. It's very un-Liverpool like this season.
So we're playing PSG this Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, do we have a score prediction?
Away in Paris.
I think we're going to get battered.
They're going to score. It's just how many, you know what I mean? Will we score? Not sure, because we don't seem to be able to have a goal in us at the moment.
Their defence is very strong.
I'd like to get away with a 2-0, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to escape with a 2-0 and see what we can do at Anfield. But
I'll take a 2-0. It's the most dangerous scoreline.
yeah. If we can keep it at a 1-0, a 0-0 would be fantastic.
That would be incredible.
A 0-0, a 1-0, a 2-0, you know, but anything other than that, I think
I
it's
can
just...
see a
it's game
0-0
over.
if we just literally just proper Diego Simeone tactics. Absolutely just park the bus. Literally just everyone back.
It's park the bus and try and hit them on the counter with whatever we've got. I don't even know who's going to be fit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we'll probably lose 1-0 against away, and I think we'll pull it back to a draw maybe, and so it goes to.
Or do you think we'll go out, or do you think we'll go penalties?
I think maybe in extra time we could do something. We could.
I just there's no confidence at the moment.
I don't think we have the legs to go to extra time at this state. Like we can barely do 90 minutes.
Yeah, and we've not done well at the end of matches, apart from the first few at the start of the season.
Yeah. And that was just
we
not
seem to
very
struggle
good.
towards the end of games. Yeah, we do run out of legs. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I think we're relying on too many young players to try and keep it all together. When in the past we had like the
leaders,
the veterans, like
the veterans, the Robertsons, the
Yeah.
Milners. You know, it was those players. The Hendersons used to keep everyone ticking and everyone moving. We don't have them anymore. The leadership doesn't seem to be there. But anyway, you know, let's hope for a low score loss away and see what we can do.
We're not going to win.
Anfield.
We're not going to win. Let's just put it there.
Anfield, Anfield is a different, you know, that's a whole different ball game, you know, and anything can happen at Anfield, but we just have to be able, we've got to put a performance in a way and just try and get out of it what we can, you know.
Yeah.
I think
that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Do you want to plug your book one more time?
Yeah, Cherry Blossom, Chef Dave Critchley, check it out.
Yeah.
Get it.
Thank you so much for watching the podcast. Tell them what to do.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. See you in the next video. It's hopefully going to be a banger. Goodbye.
Peace.